Hello there.
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.
I said it before and I'll say it again. Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
It's the Al Travis Show. Lucky to have our next guest. He is Representative Max Rymer. Max, what's your district? Where are you at? What do you encompass?
28B. It's pretty much all of Chisago County. There's a little portion of North Branch, Minnesota that I don't cover, but the rest of it, talking Taylor Falls, Lindstrom, Chisago City, a couple townships, North Branch.
That's some beautiful country up there.
Oh, it's the best.
I'm from Forest Lake, Wyoming area, so we're not far from you. We used to play church.
District. Wyoming.
Oh, is it?
District.
All right.
Yes.
Well, okay. So yeah, then we've covered the same territory. Appreciate you being here. I find some things remarkable. We have had, I guess if I put pen to paper, 10 fraud things that have gone on since this governor has been governor, right?
Yeah.
And now we get the latest one that pops out, and it's called Minnesota Housing Stability Program. For folks that understand, if you're a homeless person, you have a little tough on your luck, somehow through Medicaid, the Minnesota people, the Department of Human Services got the federal government say, okay, through Medicaid, you can pay people to talk to people who are homeless, to find them housing, to help them get to the problem. And here's what we figure. It's going to take 150 hours. So you find homeless Al, Representative, and you say, Al, I want to talk to you for a while. You will get paid $70 an hour for 150 hours.
And then I will ghost you, and then I will still get reimbursed it.
Yeah, well, okay. Let me ask you this. There might be, I have no money, I'm out of money.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 programs that are available to me. I mean, and I guess throw churches in, go talk to your.
Yeah.
How do you get 150 hours worth of conversation? I do talk for radio, for a living.
A lot of work, Al.
So then you laugh. You don't have to do anything to say I'm in the business of doing this. So obviously it's run rampant. All of a sudden, 20 businesses that do this are all end up in the same building over here in St. Paul. It's the same cookie cutter. How do we screw the people of Minnesota over and over again? Throw names in, tell them you talked for 150 hours, get your check.
Yep.
So this comes out, Representative, and all of a sudden now, the Department of Human Services comes out Friday and says, oh, we're cutting the program. Program's dead. We're not doing this. Yeah. We're not going to do it.
Yep.
Wait, wasn't this a wonderful program? How bad was it that we saw all the other frauds we've had, sir? We haven't cut any of those. How bad was this one that they're embarrassed? Go ahead.
Al, it was so important to them less than 6 months ago that they would not cut it during the legislative session. Keep that in mind. It was so important to them 6 months ago, they absolutely would not cut it. So all of a sudden, it's like, we don't need it. If it's fraudulent, we don't need it. We knew there was fraud going on, and they would not cut it.
Let me ask you this, and maybe you know, maybe not. I'm trying to put you on the squeeze. But because they had to force that money, they said, no, we're going to keep it. This is so vitally important to us. We get it in the bills. We got it passed.
Yep.
Can they just turn it off? Can somebody else just say, wait, you guys voted it in. It's there. Can they just stop the program?
My understanding is they're petitioning, basically petitioning the federal government to cut off the spending, the Medicaid spending for this specific program. So it's almost like, instead of doing this the normal way, that would have been the more appropriate way, and handling it during the legislative session or calling for a special session, my understanding is that they are basically asking the federal government to cut off Medicaid dollars for this specific program. So we're asking the federal government for help again, apparently, too. So,
well, okay, so let's go down this road. How bad was this one, in your opinion, that the autism fraud? That, Al, I don't even have to have a license. I can just say I'm talking to autistic kids and get paid. The transportation, medical transportation thing. Well, I could drive you the 3 blocks, but let's just say you live 30 miles away so I can make more money. All of this seems as easy and as crappy, not doing. Then why was this one cut? Do they believe the federal government won't come take a look at this now? it's cut, just forget about it?
No, I have a feeling this one may have been so egregious and such a bad idea in the first place that it's indefensible, Al. This one seems to be particularly bad where nobody from the beginning really understood why they were doing it or how they were doing it. It was just some good intentioned thing, I guess, they passed last legislative session or during the trifecta, I should say. And yeah, I think this one was so egregious that there is no explanation.
Okay, now we're going to play Dr. Phil here. I want you to, when you say that, then you insinuate, and I'm getting the vibe that they know that they set this up that bad. They've known that this is egregious. If anyone looks under the rock, then we've got to do something. Is that what you're saying? Or are they so stunned that bad people did bad things with their money? Can they play that off anymore? I mean, let me just, overpayment and unemployment insurance, frontline worker pay fraud, feeding our futures, child care fraud, adult daycare fraud, Minnesota autism clinics fraud, medical transportation fraud, Medicare forced reimbursement fraud. Now this. Are they shocked? Or are you saying this is just so bad?
I'm not sure that you can set up a new program in Minnesota without there being the expectation that it's going to be fraudulently scammed. You know, it's one of those things where good intentions are not good enough anymore, right? For a long time in Minnesota, we talked about how we're a generous state, we have generous programs, that kind of thing. But then in the same token, we're not willing to pass an inspector general, which can go department by department, agency by agency, and actually audit the things that are happening. That was a good idea, and it was bipartisanly supported until the Democrats in the Minnesota House said no. So it's one of those things, Al, where I don't think that you can pass a new program or have the expectation that you can pass a new program and call it the last 10 years without there being some kind of check and balance with fraud. Like, you have to understand that people are coming here to commit fraud, period, point blank.
Okay, Representative, but this is my point. So this law comes up. We're going to do the Medicaid thing, and I don't know who's on the Department of Human Services, what board sat through this. But I'm telling you, when I read it outright, you get $70 an hour, up to 150 hours to discuss homelessness with a homeless guy. I couldn't, and for the life of me, say what I could come up with a half-hour presentation. Give you the 5 bullet points, go give you the websites to go to, or we knew we were letting them rip us off. You know, my point, it's give us autism awareness. You don't have to have any licensure or anything like that. Just tell us you're helping autistic kids and we'll send you a check. It can't be that easy. I mean, who's writing the law? It just can't be that easy.
Yeah. And you know what, Al? The other thing that we're going to have to learn about, pay attention to, and figure out, because we don't have the appropriate tools to dig into it right now. But guess what? The free school kid meal lunches, too, we were beyond over budget on that. Yeah. So guess what? Yeah. Don't be surprised when we hear about that program in 6 months. Yeah. I'm serious.
No, I'm going to mark that down. I'm going to do that because the craziest thing about that, you know the exact number of children that go to Minnesota schools. You know the cost of a school lunch or breakfast. Multiply it. You know the number, and yet every year it just keeps going over. What? How is that even possible?
I know.
Now here's one for you. You see this, sir? And again, folks not listening to radio. It is the doorstop of the studio here. This is also the key to this the Capitol. All you need is one of these, and you can get it at any store. Any store, you've got a key to the Capitol. This is my point. We spent $250 million refurbishing the place. Looks like $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we did for a protection of the Capitol. A guy with a doorstop that can't. Somebody should be fired, sir. Whoever the architect was, whoever the security guy. This got a naked guy in the Capitol. That can't be true.
Yeah.
I bought it for $1.99. Keeps my door open over here.
I don't know, Al. I don't know. But you got a naked guy claiming that he's the governor of Minnesota, and
and he gets sent to the hospital, naked, crazy, having just cleaned at the Capitol, and that doesn't get you a room for the night somewhere?
I guess not. And then he comes back the next morning.
What is the level of cray-cray you got to be to get a night's sleep? Because I don't know if it's drugs. I don't have any idea. Poor guy might just be off his rocker. But even that should get you then a night to get some help.
Yeah.
How is that possible, the amount of money we spend in Department of Human Services? How is that possible?
I think we're going to start having some pretty serious conversations between this incident, the lobbyist who said he was going to kill Republicans, the assassination of Melissa Hortman. I don't know what's going to kind of come of all of this, but I do fear that the Capitol is going to become a less accessible place. I don't think that's like good for the public, but I'm kind of on the same page with you that it's like,
well, less accessible.
I had some pretty controversial bills back during session. It kind of makes you
worry.
It makes you second guess a lot of that stuff. So
2 things on that. So we just had the shootings 6 weeks ago. They're talking about, like you say, closing this Capitol down, and all that talk. And yet this doorstop, this is what I don't know that anybody's caring. I don't know who the night watchman is. I don't know how this works. This is cray right here. This is unbelievable that this could be it. We've got to find a better way, and I think we need to find people who give a crap.
There's no doubt. And I don't know how it works, like who makes that ultimate determination. When we're in session, Al, we have the gold ties. We have the Capitol security. They're a very competent group of people. I feel safe when I'm around them. But the fact that stuff like this keeps kind of happening in Minnesota you're right.
That's my point. I give you, my buddy's got a cabin up north, and when he puts his little coat in the thing, the window's all the little magnetic thing. The door doesn't. If that opens, the alarm goes off. Mm-hmm. We don't have that at our $250 million Capitol for late night. Okay, we got to go to break because we've got more stuff that's just going to infuriate you. I got him, Representative Max Rymer on the program. Hang in there.
Braver Angels Minnesota is part of a national movement that brings together conservatives, liberals, independents, and others to restore trust, respect, and goodwill in politics. We seek not to eliminate our differences, but rather deal with them head on, with respect and understanding. We do not try to change people's views, but how they view the other side. There will always be differences. Braver Angels Minnesota believes the best way forward is to change how we deal with those differences. Join the civil conversation at mn.braverangels.org.
Dust from livestock buildings can be harmful to your animals and to you. Coughing animals can lead to costly vet visits and other serious health problems. Now there's an environmentally safe solution for your dust problems. It's called Dust Lock. Dust Lock can control the dust all summer long with just one application. Protect your animals and your health with Dust Lock. Learn more at dustlock.com.
as in alligator. L also in alligator. But it's not alligator. It's the Al Travis Show.
We've got him, Representative Max Rymer, on the program with us. Representative, I know this is America, and you have the right to take the fifth, plead the fifth, and not perjure yourself, that sort of thing. But you see this over and over again with people up in front of congressional hearings, and they say, the plead the fifth 10 times. You almost get an idea that possibly something's going a little wrong here. In Minnesota, the federal Department of something asked for the voter rolls from Secretary of State Steve Simon. Mm-hmm. They want to check through the voter rolls. And for the life of me, I can't think why not. If you got another company willing to look through and find the dead people and that, let them look. Unless you're scared they're going to find something. And he says, no, thank you. We're not going to give the federal government the voter. It makes you feel that something's going on. Am I crazy, paranoid?
Yeah, the Department of Justice asked for it. Other states have complied with the request, even, I think, Democrat-led states. And Steve Simon, I guess, refuses to do that. I think that he continues to insist that we have the safest, fairest, most amazing elections of all time. And why even take a look into this? We trust our people in Minnesota. You're right, Al. If we got nothing to hide, we're not, we shouldn't be ashamed of that, right? If we have the most safe and secure elections in the country.
If you're Steve Simon and you're doing this, you're Secretary of State, and you said that, if he said this, we're the safest in the country. People envy us. Well, good. Let Trump's people look at it when they say, wow, this thing's clean as a whistle. Then you will.
How can we replicate what they have in Minnesota? They could come back and say that, right?
Well, it's either you got problems or you don't. If you have problems, we can fix it. But if you don't have problems, then Steve Simon is like, he's the Secretary of State God, right? He's like, hoo-ah, everything he said is right. But he doesn't want to test it. That makes me feel weird, especially when you look at all the rest of the fraud going on, all the rest of the crap that people tell us, everything's fine and it's not. This is horrible. This is really bad.
Al, and I'm not going to come on your program today and make the claim that any election would have changed or anything would have changed in the past, right? So hear me when I say this.
Yeah.
But your point about when we have fraud in every other area of our state, it is not unreasonable to think that our elections might have some of that too. And when we talk about the voter rolls, we're talking about just basically purging it, maybe of dead people, illegal immigrants who are voting in federal elections. There's no harm in letting the DOJ take a look at that information. There's not.
So where do we go? Simon says, I'm not doing it. Is he the king on that, or is it you guys get back in February and you put the vote to it? The Democrats will still say no. What do we do? It's just no.
Like everything, I'm guessing it'll get resolved in a court somewhere these days.
All right, isn't that the worst
I think
thing?
it's probably going to happen. So
that's fair enough. Let me ask you this: are the Republicans going to get anybody coming out of the woodwork here? We were told, up until the session was done, that we'll get some big names. The bench is going to clear. And then we had the shootings. I get that pushback. All we've had of people back out now. And I'm not ripping them. Coleman will be on tomorrow, and Duckworth have gotten out.
You need a robust field, no matter who you're currently rooting for or who you might be rooting for in the future. I am sensing, and I've told other candidates who called me for advice this, right? I am sensing a real lackadaisical attitude. It feels like versus 2022, people are starting to feel like, this is Minnesota. This is who we always will be. And I think that's reading the room wrong. I do.
I do.
I don't know.
Name a better time in our lifetimes. You look like a young man. In our lifetimes, there wasn't a better pickings for the Republicans. We talk another fraud issue. We talk about the Secretary of State. We're looking at a governor who probably will run for a third time, which Minnesotans have never gone for.
Minnesotans hate that, by the way. So.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So why is it not just a rush to the gate to file so I can be in on this race? Because I just see it as the Attorney General. I mean, not prosecuting these guys. There's so statewide, there's never been a better shot in my book, and it just doesn't look like anybody wants it.
I think people are really scared to run in a Trump midterm. They maybe remember 2018 and what a hard cycle that was. But, if people are independently exhausted of Tim Walz, having Donald Trump be the president, I don't think is going to make that much of a difference. And I have a feeling, Al, people are getting tired. They are.
I think
even
you're
Minnesotans. In our bar our bar for bullcrap is really high, and
That's true.
we're still getting there.
All right. Sir, I'm out of time. Run up against heartbreak. Appreciate you very much coming to the program. I really do. Representative
Al.
Max Rymer on the Al Travis Show.
If it's your turn to host a game,